Welcome to a play-by-play review. I'm your host, Henry, and we're very much approaching the All-Star break in the sense of we're getting close. That was not very good grammar on my part. My apologies. We're getting close to the All-Star break. I believe it is next week, maybe? Somewhere around there. I think it's next week, actually. Yeah, I think it's next, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or something like that, is the All-Star break. So I will probably still do an episode next week. And it would just be shorter. But anyway, that is for next week. For now, though, we go flashback to the first of the month on Wednesday, back on July 1st. And the conclusion for a lot of series, as per usual, since MLB seems to usually take days off on Mondays and Thursdays for a lot of teams. So the Orioles would avoid the sweep against the Chicago White Sox at home, winning 6-1 in Dean Kramer's return to the mound as well. It's nice. Orioles, they're not great this season, but I don't think they've lost more than 4 games in a row. They never won more than 3 games in a row as well. It's been very frustrating, but I mean, they went down 1-0 in the first inning off a Sam Antonacci home run. But after that, the pitching buckled down, and Orioles wind up scoring 4 in the 5th inning. They went on to win that 6-1, which was nice. I like that. The Nationals would win 10-2 over the Boston Red Sox. James Wood with a 3-run home run in this one as well, as the Nats would take the final 2 games of that 3-game series. They got to 45 and 43 after that one as well. They're rocking and rolling above 500. The Guardians would win 9-4 over the Rangers. This was them avoiding the series sweep against Texas, as the Guardians have been struggling a good bit as of late, mostly in June and July, whereas Texas has been playing pretty good, actually. At that point, they got back over 500. Guardians, a couple games over 500 as well. 2 of the better teams in the American League, that's for sure. Mackenzie Gore, also his 7th loss. Joey Cantillo, his 7th win on the season as well. Tigers would win 6-2 over the Yankees. Yankees continuing to spiral. Camilo Duvall with a loss there. That at this point, Yankees had lost 7 in a row, with the Tigers sweeping the Yankees in 3 games, which was very good to see. Absolutely loved that. Yankees have hit a major bump in the road as of late. The Cubs, in the meantime, would just destroy the Padres, winning 23-3. Dansby Swanson with 3 home runs in the game. Colin Ray pitches well, his 6th win. Walker Buehler, his 5th loss. There's, again, somehow a save in this game. I'm assuming it's like a 3-out save or 3-inning save. Jordan Wicks with it there. They say he got a save in this. I'm not really sure how, but that is for sure a thing that happened. It helps that the Cubs scored 8 in the 8th alone, but I mean they went up 9 runs through 3, and they went up 9-0 by the 4th inning. Well, actually by the 3rd inning. So I don't know. Baseball's scored weird sometimes, but that was just close it up. Yeah, that was the Cubs sweeping the series against the Padres, I might add. Padres really slumping as of late. They're falling back right around to 500 after a hot start, just completely eclipsed by the Dodgers. And I mean, their offense, the Padres, is really bad. I don't know why it's so bad. Like, I know Machado's not having a good season. Jackson Merrill's not doing great as well, but it's like shockingly bad for the level of talent on the Padres roster. It's like shockingly bad. And yet they're still around 500, which is impressive. But anyway, the Blue Jays would win 9-3 over the Mets. This is also the series where Bo Bichette returned for the first time to Toronto, as he is now a New York Met. This is also Toronto taking the series, winning games 1 and 3 there with this 9-3 victory. Freddie Peralta got hit with a loss there. Sean Keyes with his first career home run for the Blue Jays, as well as they are trying to claw their way bit by bit back to 500, though they're still at that point 5 games below. In the Battle of Poop, the Phillies would win over the Pirates. Battle of Pennsylvania as well. I made this kind of joke last week as well. But yeah, this is the Phillies winning over Paul Skeens as well. His 8th loss, Paul Skeens. Orion Kirkring, the not so much a hero, the loser from the Phillies playoff loss against the Dodgers, the walk-off error that he made last year. Got the win, though, and this one he's actually 6-0 in the season out of the bullpen. Trey Turner with a 3-run home run and a 5-run inning for the Phillies as they would take 2 in a row in the middle of a 4-game stretch against the Pirates, going up 2-1 at that point. So they would play on Thursday. The Braves would win 5-1 over the Cardinals. Braves struggling a lot in June compared to the early months, but they would win there, snap a 3-game losing streak in the middle of 3 games between those two teams. Ozzie Albies with a home run in that game as well. The Rays would shut out the Royals, winning 4-0. Junior Caminero with a home run in his 6th straight game. He's been playing insanely well. Seth Lugo, his 6th loss of the season. This might have been, hang on, because I think Seth Lugo, I feel like he got hit with a baseball and was on the IL, but that might have been a different Royals pitcher. No, I think it was Seth Lugo, but he pitched then. I don't know. I'll have to double check that. We'll have to also correct something in my June summary because I might have gotten something wrong, but I could have sworn it was Seth Lugo who got nailed in the face and got put on the IL. Hang on. Royals roster, because they have a ton of pitchers that are like all around the same. Actually, let me go stats, pitchers. Brief sidetrack here. Was it Michael Walker? Did he get nailed in the face? Seth Lugo, comebacker. No, it was Seth Lugo. He's just back after like a week somehow. Impressive, honestly. That must have hurt a lot. Actually, no, it's back after more than a week. But if I go to game log, he got hit on the 10th. Yeah, he was just back after like a week. Dang, I didn't realize that. Okay. Well, good to know there. Anyway, what was I doing? Yeah, Rays and Royals. This was in the midst of a very long winning streak for 9 in a row actually for the Rays, though they lost 3 in a row after that. But this was middle of a 3-game series against the Royals. After they played the Royals 4 in a row, then Diamondbacks 3 in a row, then the Royals 3 in a row after that. Rays started their winning streak on the last 2 games of that first Royal series. This was the second one. They would win 2 in a row there. They would win the third one. After that would be on Thursday. The Brewers would win 4-2 over their division rival Reds. Garrett Mitchell with the go-ahead RBI triple in the game. It was not an extra innings game, though. Aaron Ashby, his 12th win out of the bullpen. Trevor McGill, his 12th save as well. This was the Brewers winning 3 in a row in a 4-game series against their division rival. The Twins, in the meantime, would win 8-3 over the Astros. Taj Bradley with 11 strikeouts in the game. He actually had a really good performance today. I picked him up for the day on my fantasy team. He got like 28 points, which is awesome. But this was the Twins winning games 1 and 3 of that series against Houston. And then next up, the Rockies would win 6-3 over the Marlins. Mickey Moniak and Hunter Goodman, both with, I believe, home runs in the game. Mickey Moniak actually is single shy of the cycle. Max Meyer, his first loss of the season as a starter, 9-1 on the season. So he is in fact human. As this was game 2 of 3, I think. Hang on. Yep, game 3 of 4 between these two teams. Rockies winning their first after dropping the first 2 against Miami. Then after that, the A's would win 7-1 over the Dodgers. JT again, his 7th win of the season. Shea Langelier's home run number 20. He's, I believe, I think he's actually the starter for the American League in the All-Star game at catcher. A's not having a good stretch at the moment. They've lost. They've had 3 separate 4-game losing streaks, bracketed by only 3 wins between them all. So that's what 3 of their last 15, I think, which is not a good stretch. This was the A's avoiding the sweep against the Dodgers there with that 7-1 victory, though. And then lastly, the Giants would top their division rival Diamondbacks 6-4. Trevor McDonald with throwing a 1-hitter over 6 scoreless innings. Good performance there for the Giants starters. Zach Gallen, his 8th loss of the season, as well for Arizona, as the Giants would avoid the sweep. And that is the end of Wednesday. We go to Thursday, and the conclusion to the Battle of Pennsylvania ends with the Pirates winning 6-1 over the Phillies. So they would split that series, Pirates winning games 1 and 4 there. Esmeralin Valdez with a triple and a single, with 2 RBIs in that game for Pittsburgh there. 14 total hits there for the Pirates as they got to 44 and 44. Phillies 49 and 39. So completely rebounded after that terrible start. So after that, we get to the Reds winning 7-2 over the Brewers, concluding that 4-game series with the Reds avoiding the sweep. They would win 1 of 4. The Rockies would win 14-4 over the Marlins. Jake McCarthy with 4 RBIs and Mickey Moniak with some RBIs as well. So they would split that 4-game series, winning games 3 and 4 against Miami. The Guardians and the White Sox, division rivals, would start up a new series with, it was also a 4-game series, I might add, with the Guardians winning 6-5. Brian Rocchio with a 2-run walk-off home run to net the win there for Cleveland, as those 2 teams would battle it out for the division pretty much. Detroit, Kansas City, and Minnesota. And Minnesota's actually kind of close. Detroit had a pretty good month of June. Kansas City's nowhere to be seen. But right now the division is, for the most part, just a battle between the Sox and Guardians. Had a slight hiccup there, that's why. Cardinals would win 11-5 over the Braves next up. So they would win that series actually against Atlanta, winning games 1 and 3. Jordan Walker with a home run, 4 RBIs. Nathan Church with 2-run home run as well in that one. 7-run, 7th inning for the Cardinals in that game. The Rays would win 5-2 over the Royals, obviously sweeping that series. I already alluded to that. Ian Seymour, his 5th win of the season. Brian Baker, save number 22. He's actually the starting closer for the All-Star game for the American League, I believe. I know he's at least named to the All-Star game. I don't actually know if he's the lead closer, but Brian Baker is, in fact, going to the All-Star game as a Tampa Bay Ray. Then next up, the Rangers would win 10-4 over the Tigers, starting out a series, 3-game series only, between those 2 American League teams. Framber Valdez, his 6th loss of the season. Nathan Eovaldi, win number 9. No-hitter for Eovaldi through 5 innings. So not a super deep no-hitter, but a no-hitter nonetheless for a little bit. Though, ironically enough, the Tigers would finish with 11 hits, funnily enough. I'm just reading the recap, and then it's like, oh yeah, no-hitter, and then also 11 hits for the Tigers and 4 runs. So I mean, still, no-hitter through 4+ innings, not too bad. The Mariners, speaking of no-hitters, I mean, not an actual no-hitter, but a very low-hit total game. Mariners would win 1-0 over the Angels with only 2 hits for the Mariners on their win, I might add. Bryce Miller took a no-hitter into the 7th inning, so there was actually a no-hitter there. Andres Munoz, his 16th save, while Bert Arena with a loss, though he obviously did not pitch really all that bad. It was just the Angels offense could do nothing there, as the Mariners would sweep the Angels. Did I get their game? Did I cover that game last time? Hang on. Maybe they had their game postponed from that day, because I don't see it there at all, which is a little weird, but okay. Must have been delayed or something. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Mariners won 1-0 over the Angels, unless this was the start of a series. Hang on, was this the start of a series? No, it was not. When was this game? This game must have been on Tuesday. Anyway, that doesn't matter too much. And Mariners won. Finally, the Dodgers and the Padres would square off in a divisional matchup, with the Dodgers winning 12-7. They were also down 6-0, by the way, and came back to win there, which is not good for the Padres. This is another one of those get a bunch of games against an opponent out at once, pretty much, as the Dodgers and Padres had played 3 games last week. Then the Dodgers played 3 against the Athletics. Then they would play 4 in a row against the Padres, winning the first one there in big fashion. I am curious to see when these runs came. Padres went up 6-0 through the top of the second. Dodgers scored 2 in the bottom of the second, 2 in the bottom of the third, 4 in the bottom of the fourth to take the lead, and they never looked back. So rough go there for the Padres pitching-wise. We got a Friday and the start of a lot of series and the continuation of a couple. The Orioles and Reds would start out a series with the Orioles winning 3-0 in this one. I streamed this one. Trevor Rogers pitches very well, and really the entire Orioles roster pitches well, both starting and bullpen-wise. The Reds, in the meantime, did not play very well. Tyler Wells with his first save of the season, with Ryan Helsley back on the injured list for the Orioles. The Red Sox would win 5-2 over the Angels. Aroldis Chapman sets a new record for a relief pitcher in total strikeouts out of anyone ever in baseball. He has the most strikeouts out of any relief pitcher, period. It's like some very high number in the thousands, I believe. But 5-2 for the Red Sox there. Aroldis Chapman save number 17 on the season. Cardinals would win 17-1 over the Cubs. This was an early game and very lopsided, as the Cubs, they'd won big against the Braves, or not the Braves, won big against whoever it was, if I can find it again. Where'd that game go? They won 23-3 against the Padres the game before, then lost 17-1. So very much the Cubs' season of extremes. They've had 10-game winning streaks. They've had 10-game losing streaks. It's just the Cubs, how they're playing. Divisional matchup, by the way, between those two teams as well, I should add. The Nationals would win 9-5 over the Pirates. Foster Griffin, his 9th win of the season. He's pitching very, very well. Luis Garcia Jr. and Dalen Lyle, each with a pair of homers between them. Or actually, no, they both hit 2 home runs in the game, so that's 4 home runs between them. So big day of offense from two of their top, I guess maybe not even top guys, but 2 of the guys that have had good seasons. I'll go with that. The Yankees would finally snap their losing streak, winning 5-2 over the Twins. Ben Rice with the go-ahead 2-run home run in this one. Garrett Cole, his 3rd win of the season as well. David Bednar, save number 17. After that, we get to the Guardians winning 4-3 over the White Sox, taking 2 in a row against their division rival. Khalil Watson with the game-winning walk-off single in the 10th inning. So I think it's actually back-to-back walk-offs for the Guardians over the White Sox there. The Braves would start a series against their division rival Mets, winning 5-3. Matt Olson with 2 home runs in the game. Michael Harris II also with a home run, a 2-run home run actually. Raisel Iglesias save number 17 as they would start a 4-game series over in the NL East down in Atlanta. The Rockies, against their division rival Giants, would win 15-3. Jake McCarthy with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs in the game. Logan Webb, losing pitcher there, his 6th loss of the season. 3-game series, though, between those two teams. The Rays would win 3-1 over the Astros in a rematch of, I think, the 2020 ALCS, I want to say. I'm pretty sure. I feel like the Astros played the Rays at that point. But anyway, save number 23 for Brian Baker. Nick Fortes homered in the game. Junior Caminero also with a home run. He's, again, insane. As they would start a 3-game series between those two teams over the weekend. The Marlins would win 12-5 over the Athletics. Kyle Stowers with 2 home runs in the game, 5 total for Miami. Kyle Stowers looking to make up for lost time after starting out the season on the injured list for a while. 3 games between those two teams with very little in common in terms of division and league and all that. Marlins NL East, Athletics AL West. So very, very different there. Then the Brewers would win 7-5 over the Diamondbacks. Jackson Chourio with the eventual game-winning hit in the 11th inning. So this actually did go to 11 innings. Brewers would put up a lopsided number there in the top of the 11th as they would start out a series between those two teams. Then next up, the Dodgers would win 4-3 over the Padres, winning 2 in a row there. Grand slam in the 7th inning as well for Teoscar Hernandez to net all 4 of the runs for the Dodgers, save number 12 on the season for Tanner Scott. Then finally, the Blue Jays would win 2-0 over the Mariners. Dylan Cease with 9 strikeouts over 7 innings. He pitches very well for his 5th win of the season. Luis Castillo, his 7th loss for Seattle. Louis Varland, save number 18 as well in the start of a 4-game series over in Seattle. We go to Saturday. The Orioles would win. I double-clicked there. Actually, I went to Sunday. Orioles would win 2 in a row against Cincinnati, winning the series, and 3 in a row in total. And look to try and get their first 4-game winning streak of the season. They would, spoilers, not do that. But Hunter Green got in his return to the majors after being on the injured list for everything up to this point, would be rudely met with 8 runs given up. Brandon Young pitches not super amazing. Got roughed up a little bit, but hung on and wound up getting his 7th win of the season. So definitely a boon for the Orioles there and Brandon Young. Tyler Wells also got a save 2 days in a row, and he's also up to 2 saves on the season. So his first 2 saves on the season come back-to-back against Cincinnati. Then the Red Sox would win 8-1 over the Angels, winning 2 in a row there against Los Angeles. Wilson Contreras and Romy Gonzalez homers in the game. Sonny Gray, win number 10 on the season. He's 10-1, 2.61 ERA, so he's pitching very well there for Boston. Their rotation's actually really good. Is the Boston Red Sox. It's just everything else has not been great. The Pirates would win 7-1 over the Nationals. Braxton Ashcraft win number 9. 4th straight start he would win as well for Pittsburgh. The Twins would win 11-4 over the Yankees as they would force the Yankees to fall back into their losing ways there, which is always, fun to see. The Tigers would win 3-0 over the Rangers. Jack Flaherty got his 2nd win of the season there. Kader Montero with save number 1 for Detroit. I feel like he's a relief pitcher, but he's obviously not their closer. Kenley Jansen's usually their closer. But that was the Tigers evening up the series there. The Mariners would win 11-0 over the Blue Jays, evening up the series as well. Logan Gilbert, his 7th win. Shane Bieber in his return from injury. First start, I believe, this season. He would lose the start. Give up a 9 ERA flat. He's 0-1 on the season. Logan Gilbert also gives up 1 hit through 7 1/3, which is pretty good. The White Sox would get a win back over the Guardians, winning 3-1. Colson Montgomery with the go-ahead home run in the 8th would eventually win it there for Chicago. The Astros would win 10-8 over the Rays. Yordan Alvarez with a 2-run homer off of Casey Legumina with no outs in the 9th inning. This was the Astros coming back from down pretty big to eventually walk it off. Big one there for Houston, as they would believe this is the game that finally snapped that Rays 9-game win streak and propelled them to a 3-game losing streak, though they did win today to stem the bleeding. After that, the Braves would win 2 in a row against the Mets, winning 14-3 here, 5 home runs in the game for Atlanta. Chris Sale, his 9th win of the season. Sean Manaea, his 4th loss. Michael Harris, the 2nd, with 3 hits and a home run as well. He's having a pretty nice stretch. The Cardinals would blank the Cubs, winning 3-0. J.J. Weatherholt with a home run, 3 hits in the game. Kyle Leahy with 5 innings scoreless. Shota Imanaga, his 7th loss. Riley O'Brien, save number 22, as the Cardinals would take the series, winning games 1 and 2. Next up, the Phillies would, I believe, start out a series, actually. Yep, they would, against the Royals. These games are being played on July 4th. Phillies would win that one 6-1 over in Kansas City. Jesus Luzardo, his 7th win. Michael Wacha, 6th loss. 9 strikeouts in 6 innings as well for Jesus. Then next up, the Giants would win 6-4 over the Rockies. Robbie Ray, 6 innings pitched. Decent enough to earn the win, his 8th win of the season there for San Francisco, as they would even up that series. Then the Marlins would win 7-2 over the Athletics. Sandy Alcantara, win number 10. He's at a 4 ERA flat. Aaron Savale, loss number 6. 1 run, 8 strikeouts in 8 innings for Alcantara as he goes through another deep start. Marlins 48-42 as they continue their very hot summer. Guess the fish are enjoying the hot weather. Then the Diamondbacks would win 4-3 over the Brewers. Adrian Del Castillo with a 3-run home run in the first inning for Arizona. Paul Sewald, his 20th save as well. Brandon Woodruff, unfortunately, went down, basically re-aggravated his labrum, I believe. He was on the IL for a lot of the season, came back a couple weeks ago, was pitching really well, and then re-aggravated his injury. So he's going back onto the IL and isn't expected until mid to late August, pretty much, unfortunately, for the Brewers there. And they would lose game 2 of that series. Diamondbacks would even it up. Then lastly, the Dodgers would win their 3rd in a row against San Francisco, blanking them this time as they would win 3-0. Unsurprisingly, it was Yoshinobu Yamamoto who started. Griffin Canning, his 6th loss. Yamamoto, 9-5. 3 in a row in that 4-game series for the Dodgers. And then we go to Sunday. The Orioles would lose 3-2 in a game that was just always felt a little out of reach. Kyle Bradish pitched okay. Honestly, actually, no. Now thinking about it or remembering, he actually pitched pretty well. Pitched into the 8th inning, I believe. Then probably should have been taken out, but was not, and wound up giving up an extra RBI that made it, at that point, I think 3-1. And the Orioles almost came back, but did not in the end. Emilio Pagan, who's back from the injured list by now, got his 7th save of the season. The Red Sox would wind up sweeping the Angels, right? Yes, they would. Winning 7-5 there. Jarren Duran and Wilson Contreras with home runs in that game. Red Sox bullpen, as it was a bullpen game, pitches well enough to hold on for the victory. After that, we get to the Mets avoiding the sweep against the Braves, winning 10-9. Noel McLean with a win there. Maybe not the best start in the world, but got the win. Martin Perez, his 6th loss. Devin Williams, save number 13. Juan Soto with the 2 RBI single. Hang on, what is this? McLean regroups and Soto hits 2-run single as scuffling Mets barely hold off Braves 10-9. 2-run single in the 2nd inning gave Mets lead. Nolan McLean regrouped after a rough start, and the Mets held off. Okay, hang on. So wait, what actually happened in this game? So Mets score 1 in the first. Bo Bichette's RBI single. Give up 3 in the bottom of the first. So they're down 3-1. They score 4 in the top of the second. Home run there makes it 2-3. Francisco Lindor ties it up. Soto makes it 5-3. Then there's no score into the 9th. And then everything happens in the 9th inning. The Mets put up 5 in the top of the 9th to make it, at that point, 10-3. Then they give up nearly blow it. They give up 6 in the bottom of the 9th. I guess they have to pull in Devin Williams. And they give up a grand slam to make it 10-8. And okay, that's what happened. So it was near disaster for the Mets, but they would hold on to win there. That's rough. They got the win, which is what that matters there. But anyway, the Pirates would win 11-5 over the Nationals. So they would win that series there, winning games 2 and 3. Gregory Soto, his 5th win out of the bullpen. Connor Griffin with the go-ahead RBI 2 RBI single, actually. Unfortunately, Connor Griffin's now on the IL. He hurt something in himself. I don't know what. I think it was something in his hand. But unfortunate there for Pittsburgh. The Twins would win the series over the Yankees, winning 6-1 there. Joe Ryan, 3 hits in 7 innings overall. Ryan Weathers gives up just a little bit more. He is 3-7 on the season. Joe Ryan, 6-5, but he's pitching very well. Yankees continuing to skid. They got to 40 losses as well, 49-40 after that one. The White Sox would win 7-6 over the Guardians, so they would split that 4-game series, White Sox winning the last 2. Colson Montgomery with a home run in the game. Close one, but not close enough for Cleveland. The Cubs, in the meantime, would avoid the sweep against the Cardinals, winning 6-4. 4 runs in the 6th inning as well for Chicago. Jacob Webb, his 3rd save of the season there for the Cubs, as I think their closer role is kind of a nebulous type of position, pretty much. Next up, the Royals would win 5-2 over the Phillies. Salvador Perez with a pair of RBIs in the game. Aaron Nola, his 6th loss of the season. Royals tie that series up there. Tigers win 6-3 over the Rangers. Riley Green with a home run and triple. 4 RBIs total for Riley, as the Tigers would win their 40th game of the season as well. They would tie up that series against, or hang on, did I read that right? No, I didn't actually. They would win the series against Texas there, winning games 2 and 3. Casey Mize, his 4th win of the season. The Astros would win 2-0 over the Rays. Christian Walker and Isaac Paredes with the 2 home runs, 2 solo home runs. That would be all the offense the Astros needed to win. They would win that series against Tampa Bay, winning 2 in a row. The Rockies would win 7-6 over the Giants. Kyle Karros with a 3-run home run in the 8th inning that would eventually go on to win it. I guess, is that Jordan Romano? He's on the Rockies now? Oh yeah, he is. Jordan Romano on the Rockies gets save number 5 on the season. He was actually pretty good for the Angels early on and then just completely fell apart, but he is, in fact, now in Colorado, pitching a win there at least. The Rockies would win the series as well against San Francisco, winning games 1 and 3. Where did I go? There I am. The Brewers would win 3-2 over the Diamondbacks. Jake Bauers homering off of Eduardo Rodriguez, who gets hit with his 3rd loss of the season. Rodriguez going to the All-Star game, though. He's 7-3 with a 2.25 ERA. Trevor McGill save number 13 on the season, as the Brewers would win that series with games 1 and 3 on under their belts. Then we get to the Marlins winning 9-8 over the Athletics. This is actually one where Eury Perez was pitching a perfect game through 7 innings. Then the Marlins manager took him out. The A's almost came back. And the Marlins held him off in the end. But it was much closer than it needed to be. Also, why are you taking a guy out while he's pitching a perfect game? Come on, man. But that was the Marlins sweeping the series against the Athletics. Then the Mariners would take the series over the Blue Jays, winning 4-0 there. Emerson Hancock with a great performance. Trey Savage, his loss number 4 on the season. And then finally, the Padres would avoid the 4-game sweep against the Dodgers, winning 5-2 over their division rival. Emmett Sheehan, his 6th loss. Mason Miller, save number 22. And hang on, I need to investigate something real quick. Who was it that I was looking at? Was it the Diamondbacks? No. It was the Rockies? I felt like something was off on this when I was looking at it. I might have been wrong. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to move on. We go to Monday. A couple days left. The Royals would win the series against the Phillies in convincing fashion, absolutely destroying Christopher Sanchez and the Phillies 15-1 here. Christopher Sanchez, his 4th loss of the season, 10 wins though, as the Royals would win games 2 and 3 there. This was 6 runs in the first inning alone. Then the Royals would score in every inning. They would score 1 run in the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, then 2 in the seventh and eighth, and did not have to hit in the ninth as they would demolish the Phillies there. The Yankees would win 5-1 over the Rays. Cam Schlittler with a bounce back performance. He's now 9-5 with a 2.01 ERA as those two AL East rivals would square off. The Nationals would win 12-11 over the Astros in a rematch of the 2019 World Series. James Wood with a grand slam in the 5th inning. The Nats nearly blew it in the 8th. They gave up 4 in the 8th to make it a 1-run game, but they would hold out and win it in the end. Next up, the Mets would win at 7-6 over the Braves. So I guess actually, hang on. That was a 4-game series, actually. So the Mets would even up the series there against Atlanta. They would split it 2 games apiece. Luke Weaver with his first save of the season there for New York as well. The Brewers would win 4-3 over their division rival Cardinals. Trevor McGill save number 14 of the season. That's what it was. This was, hang on, was this 2? Oh, they must have played a doubleheader. That's what I was confused about earlier. They played a doubleheader today, I guess? Yeah, they did. Oh yeah, duh, because I knew that. I have 3 guys between the Brewers and Cardinals on my fantasy team. I should have known that. Anyway, yeah. So the Brewers, they would start out a series, I think actually a 4-game series, with the doubleheader Tuesday, because I'm recording this now on Wednesday, but anyway. Yeah, Brewers start out the series with a win there. Next up, the Diamondbacks would shut out their division rival Padres, winning 8-0. Walker Buehler loss number 5. Padres did have 8 hits, but no runs. Brandon Pfaadt, his second win after returning to the bigs from the minors. Speaking of the NL West, the Giants would win 10-1 over the Blue Jays. Landon Rupp, his 6th win of the season. Kevin Gossman, his 8th loss of the season, as they would start a series between those 2 teams. Then finally, the Dodgers would walk off the Rockies with a courtesy of Dalton Rushing. Nearly gave up the game in the 9th inning, but would come back to win it there as those 2 NL West rivals would square off. Then finally, we get to Tuesday, and the Cubs and Orioles would start a series. The Orioles did not play all that great, mostly on the offense side of the ball, which is how it's usually been. They would lose 5-2, stranding a ton of runners on base. They, again, cannot do well against lefty starters. In this case, it being Matthew Boyd, who's now 4-1 with a 4.31 ERA on the season. Shane Baz gets hit with his 9th loss on the season, but he's pitching a lot better than that the 4-9 record suggests. His offense has not done him a lot of favors a lot of the time. Next up, the Red Sox and the White Sox. So the Battle of the Sox would start off with the Red Sox taking game 1 8-1. Peyton Tolley with his 5th win of the season. In game 1 of the doubleheader, the Brewers would win 4-3. Jacob Mizorowski win number 10 on the season. He has a 1.62 ERA. Save number 6 as well for Abner Uribe. This was a makeup game from May 5th, so basically from a game 2 months prior between those 2 division rivals. Then the Tigers would win 6-2 over the Athletics and a start of a series between those 2 teams. Tarek Skubal, his 5th win of the season. He's getting close to getting his ERA under 3. JT Ginn, loss number 5. His ERA is also very, very close to 3. Paul Skeens would net his 7th win of the season, not in a super spectacular performance, but a win nonetheless, as the Pirates would win 12-4 over the Braves. This was start of a series, right? Yeah, start of a series between those 2 teams. The Rays would get one back over the Yankees. Brian Baker save number 24. Will Warren with his 4th loss of the season. Ian Seymour, his 6th win out of the bullpen, right? Yeah, out of the bullpen. Oop. But just bumped my mic trying to scratch my head. Sorry about that. Next up, the Marlins would win 6-5 over the Mariners. They got to 50 wins, did Miami. So another win on the amazing stretch for the Fish. Just very surprising that the Marlins are doing this good, but they have been crushing it as of late. Next up, the Astros would win 6-3 over the Nationals. Josh Hader, his 10th save of the season, as they would even up that series. The Mets and the Royals would start a series, and it was incredibly crazy. There was Carson Bench for the Mets would score a little league home run after basically grounding out to the pitcher, who then misplayed the ball, throwing it over to first, threw it over. And basically the Mets, I believe, the Royals, committed 3 errors on the play and allowed, and it wasn't a bases empty sequence as well. Like, there were men on base, and Benj was able to eventually get around to score on a swinging bunt. Though in the end, the Royals got the last laugh as they would win again 16-12. Don't really know how this kind of happens, but it does. That little league homer was also on the first inning, and it gave up 3 runs for the Royals. They gave up 3 there, but they did score 5 in the 5th and 7 in the 7th. So I don't know, baseball. After that, the Phillies would win 4-1 over the Reds. Zach Wheeler with another incredible start. Johan Duran save number 22 on the season. Phillies 51-41 after that. The Twins would top their division rival Guardians. Again, this is the Taj Bradley really good start. Don't know if this is a 3 or 4 game series, but it's a start between these first game of the series between those two rivals. Twins actually getting pretty close to the Guardians in terms of record. Guardians at that point, actually now currently, now that I think about it, 47-45, Twins 45-47. In the doubleheader between the Brewers and the Cardinals, Brewers would win that one as well in game 2 of that doubleheader, winning 10-2 there, as they would win 3 in a row against their division rival and extend their division lead. Brewers up to 58 wins on the season. They're trying to catch up to the Dodgers, who would actually lose against the Rockies 4-3, though they are still at 60 wins, first team to 60 wins. They're Jordan Romano with save number 6 as well for Colorado. Interesting there. Kind of skipped ahead a couple games, but it doesn't really matter too much. The Rangers would top their division rival Angels 8-3. Rangers getting above 500 again, as they try to look to maintain a hold over their division. I believe they're still in the lead at the moment. They might be down a game at the moment to Seattle. The Padres would take on their division rival Diamondbacks, winning 4-1 there, so they would find another win. Actually, this is also not the first game between these two teams. This is game number 2, so they would even up the series against their division rival there. Mason Miller, save number 23. Zach Gallen, loss number 9 for Arizona. Then lastly, the Blue Jays would win 9-3 over the Giants. Patrick Corbin, his 3rd win of the season for Toronto. And that is it. We're all caught up. So we go to the stats. Again, I'm trying to keep these a bit shorter. That is not the stats. That is the schedule for, I think, today now. But anyway, hitting leaders. Need to stop filling up gaps with It's tough to do for someone who speaks like that all the time, but I am trying my best. But batting average leaders, it is Otto Lopez at 343, Luis Arias 327, Yandy Diaz 319, Nick Gonzalez 314, Yordan Alvarez 313, which is crazy given how that Yordan Alvarez is 2nd on home runs at 29, Kyle Schwarber at 31, Hunter Goodman 27, Junior Caminero 26, Ben Rice also 26. RBIs, it is Jordan Walker with 69, Yordan Alvarez 67, Nick Kurtz 66, Luis Garcia Jr. 65, CJ Abrams also 65. Then in terms of total hits, it is Otto Lopez with 124, Luis Arias 112, Yordan Alvarez 105, Yandy Diaz 103, Ernie Clement 101. Then the last of the stats on the regular stats page, it is 4 hitters at least. It is stolen bases. Nasim Nunez still leads now at 33. Bobby Witt Jr. at 30. Jazz Chisholm at 26. Jose Ramirez 24. Get well soon, Jose. We miss you. Again, he's got a hamate injury that is keeping him out. Everyone loves to watch Jose Ramirez play. Unless he's playing against you, then he's really annoying. And then Pete Armstrong is 23. Then pitching leaders, Aaron Ashby leads wins with 12. Then there's a lot of guys at 10, including Sandy Alcantara, Christopher Sanchez, Jacob Mizorowski, and Justin Robleski. ERAs, it is Jacob Mizorowski at 1.62, Cam Schlegler with 2.01, Eduardo Rodriguez 2.25, Chris Sale 2.27, Chase Burns 2.4. Saves, it is Cade Smith with 26, Brian Baker 24, Mason Miller 23, Riley O'Brien, and Johan Duran 22. Strikeouts, it is unsurprisingly Jacob Mizorowski at 167, Dylan Cease at 137, Christopher Sanchez tied with Dylan Cease, Cam Schlegler 131, and Jesus Luzardo 125. So a pair of Philly pitchers in the top 5 in terms of total strikeouts. Then lastly, for regular stats, Sandy Alcantara, this is all quality starts. Sandy Alcantara, Christopher Sanchez, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto with 13. Michael Wacha, Shohei Ohtani, and probably some others at 12. I realized I forgot to run the standings. I'll do that after I go to individual stats. So we go to batting average, which I did. Doubles leaders. Let's do that. It is Otto Lopez, 25. Matt Olson, 24. Rafi Devers, also 24. Triple leaders, it should still be Corbin Carroll. Yep, he's up to 10 now in the season. Luis Arraez, 7. Jake McCarthy, 6. Walks. That's what I want next. Nick Kurtz, 76. James Wood, 74. Taylor Ward, 69. For walks, most strikeouts, it is Kyle Schwarber, 135. Zach Neto, 128. Nick Kurtz, also 28. James Wood, 126. OPS leaders, it is Yordan Alvarez at 1,041. Juan Soto at 985, and Shohei Ohtani at 952 in terms of OPS. Then WAR leaders, it is Pete Armstrong at 5.2, Bobby Witt Jr. 4.8, Otto Lopez 4.6. I don't know if that's just general WAR or like B WAR compared to F WAR. I don't know for sure. We'll go to pitching though. We get, let's see, ERA did, wins, most losses on the season. It is Michael Lorenzen, Shane Baz, Zach Gallen, Kyle Bradish, Tanner Bybee, and Mike Burrows all at 9. Most holds, it is Jojo Romero at 20, Kevin Kelly and Eric Sabrowski at 19, Tyler Rogers and Dylan Lee, and also Edward Bizardo at 18. Most innings pitched, it is Sandy Alcantara at 123 and 2/3. Christopher Sanchez is second at 120 and third, and then Michael Wacha third at 114 and 2/3 innings pitched. Most hits surrendered, it is Michael Lorenzen at 130, Sandy Alcantara and Zach Gallen both at 122. Most earned runs, it is Zach Gallen at 69, Michael Lorenzen 68, Kyle Freeland also 68. Most home runs given up, it is eventually Jeffrey Springs at 24, Zach Littell 22, Mike Burrows and Shota Imanaga at 21. So Jameson Taillon has actually been dethroned in that department. Then walks, it is Bubba Chandler 52, Jose Soriano 51, Kyle Bradish 48. Then finally WAR, we get Christopher Sanchez 4.9, Chase Burns 4.3, Jacob Mizorowski 4.2. Then quick re-peek at the standings. The AL East is being led by the Rays. They are at 53 and 36. Yankees are 4 games back now with their 2-8 stretch compared to the 7-3 stretch for the Rays. Yankees are at 50 and 41. Blue Jays 11.5 back at 43 and 49. Red Sox 12 back at 41 and 48. Orioles 12.5 back at 42 and 50. The AL Central is being led by the White Sox at 47 and 43. Guardians 1 game back at 47 and 45. Twins 3 back at 45 and 47. Tigers 6.5 back at 41 and 50. Then the Royals 10 back at 38 and 54. Over in the AL West, the Mariners lead it at 47 and 45. The Rangers are half game back at 46 and 45. The Astros are 2 games back at 46 and 48. The Athletics are 5.5 back at 41 and 50. And then the Angels are 11 back at 36 and 56. Over in the National League, the NL East is being led by the Braves. They are 52 and 38, though their comfortable lead has slipped considerably. The Phillies are only 2 games back at 51 and 41. The Marlins are now 3 back after their incredible surge. They're at 50 and 42. The Nationals, 6.5 back at 47 and 46. And then the Mets all the way down 15 games back at 38 and 54. The Brewers are next up. They are leading the NL Central at 58 and 33. They've kind of put some distance ahead of their fellow division rivals. The Cubs 7 back at 51 and 40. The Cardinals 10.5 back at 47 and 43. Pirates 11.5 back at 47 and 45. Then the Reds 16.5 back at 41 and 49. Finally, the NL West is being led by the Dodgers, unsurprisingly. They're at 60 and 33, while the competition has fallen off, as the Diamondbacks and Padres are both 14 games back at 45 and 46. The Giants are 21 back at 38 and 53, and the Rockies are 22 back at 38 and 55. And that, my friends and listeners, will do it for this one. Next episode will be something on the Star Wars Revenge of the Sith novelization. That will probably be out on Saturday night, Sunday morning, most likely, unless I decide to record it earlier. I don't think I will. But I actually just finished that audiobook last night. It was good. It was, again, I think I mentioned this last week, but it peaks at the start and it's kind of not necessarily downhill. I mean, like, by definition, yes, that is how it goes, but it's not bad after that. It's just not quite the level of hype the introduction has to it, but it's still good overall. I'll go into more detail next episode unless something comes up. But if for whatever reason I don't get around to recording that, next week's more baseball. It should be right around the start of the All-Star break, so it might be a little bit of a shorter episode. I'll see what happens with the week after that. I might just have that be a really short week as well. We'll see. But anyway, that will do it. Thank you very much for watching.